Good morning, Chaverim. Chaye Moharan, Resh Pei, 280. Yom Rishon Kafhei Nisan Taf Kuf Ayin. This was said on a Monday, which was the 25th of Nisan in the year Taf Kuf Ayin. Is the year right before, 6 months before Rabbeinu passed away. Haya medaber imi michudushe Abal Shem Tov. Shigila chadashot ba'onam. So Rabbeinu was speaking about the Baal Shem Tov, how the Baal Shem Tov revealed wondrous teachings in the world. כי הסיפור של הבעל שם טוב הוא עניין חדש. מה שלא נתגלה מקודם סיפור כזה. רק בכתבי האריזה נמצא גם כן איזה מקומות מעין זה. Not sure what he's referring to, but there's a story of the Baal Shem Tov, or maybe a teaching of the Baal Shem Tov, which was never revealed, and only in the Kitvei Arizal, the Kabbalah, it's hinted at, but it's not written outright. Some things that tzaddikim only hint at, but you can't really know what they mean. ואחר כך היה משבח מאוד מאוד את כתבי האריזל. So the Chidushim of the Baal Shem Tov, which by the way, the Baal Shem Tov didn't leave books. He didn't leave Sfarim, the Baal Shem Tov, but his Talmidim wrote what they heard in his name. Yesterday in Seudah Shishit, we said amazing Chidush of the Baal Shem Tov, which is kedai to repeat. That the Baal Shem Tov brings the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat Lamed Aleph. And there it speaks about Hillel and Shammai and a certain convert that wanted to convert to Judaism. So the convert came to Hillel, to Shammai first, and told him, convert me on condition that I'll stand only on one foot and you teach me the whole Torah. I'm willing, but I want to learn the whole Torah standing on one foot. So it says that Shammai took a stick of amata binyan. It's a stick that we measure when building. When you're in construction and contractors, they have a stick to measure. Amma is a measure, and binyan is amata binyan. And he gave him a hit and said, get out of here. Shegitz. They were talking about how we're going to teach you the Torah on one foot. He came to Hillel, and Hillel told him, whatever you don't like to do to you, done to you, whatever you hate, don't do it to somebody else. That's the whole Torah. So what does that mean? Then he told him, go learn the rest. It's a pirush. All the rest is a pirush. By the way, it's very deep. It means you got to get to the point where you're so in touch with somebody else where there's no me anymore. Me and you were the same. So long, Rabbeinu speaks about in Torah Yudalid, there's levels of tzaddikim where there is still me and there's you, but I'm not hurting you. And then there's no more me. It's only me and you. We're all light of Hashem. There's no more body. It's a high level. So that's the whole Torah is to get you there. That's pshat. Shammai was a kabdan, and Hillel was mikarev. But comes the Baal Shem Tov, says an amazing thing. He says the Baal Shem Tov says like this. The question of the ger was, I want to learn the whole Torah without any yiridot. When you're on one foot standing up, you can't go down. Try to bend down with one foot. You can't bend down. It's very, very hard unless you're really, really athletic to go down on one foot. Otherwise, most people, you want to go down with one foot, you're not going to be able to. You need 2 feet to go down, right? To bend. So he says, I'm willing, but I don't want all your aliyot and yiridot. You guys are too much aliyot and yiridot. You ever had ups and downs? Nothing's smooth sailing. A person is filled with ups and downs, ups and downs. You're doing good, you feel on top, you're down. You're up, you're down. You're up, you're down. And what is the ups and downs for most of us? Doing good things. But the up and down of the tzaddik, you know what's the down of the tzaddik? It's a bad thought. His yirida is a machshava zara. You know that the highest faculty that you have is your thoughts. You are your thoughts. Rabbeinu says in Torah Chaf, you are where your thoughts are. Think good, it'll be good. You are where you're thinking. A person can be in the most dirty, disgusting place, but his thoughts are in pure place. No problem. A person's with his tefillin and talit on in the kotel and he's thinking dirty things. You are where his thoughts are. You are your thoughts. That's why so much of what we do is to control the thoughts. And don't think, and you are responsible for them as well. Hashem yodea machshavot ben adam, and when you have bad thoughts, you're supposed to replace them for good thoughts. The highest level of tzaddik is not forget about not having bad thoughts, but the highest level of tzaddik is never to forget about Hashem for a second. Never to have hesach hadat. Never even for one moment forget about Hashem. But when bad thoughts come in your mind, you have to know how to fight it. And Derech Klal, Rabbeinu said the way you fight it is not to fight it heads on. You won't win him heads on. What you do is called change the station. You change the station and you think of another thought. Because the rule is you cannot have 2 thoughts in your mind at one time. You can only think of one thing at a time. Even though your mind never stops, Your mind is always running. It's always moving. It's even when you're sleeping. The dreams that you have are production of your thoughts. Your mind will never turn off. There's no such thing as not thinking. And even in meditations in Kabbalah, there's an avodah to stop the thought process, and then you see different things. You see images, you see letters. You can create letters. It's a high level, but otherwise, a person is always thinking. So it's a good etzah. But the rule is you can't have two thoughts in your mind at once. So if you're bothered with a thought, don't fight the thought, change the thought. You can do a lot of things at once, but you're actually thinking very fast between thought to thought. A person can be driving with a phone, eating yogurt, and stick shift, and he's smoking a cigarette. But how is he doing all that? He's doing all that by switching. Now I'm talking to him, now I'm writing a text, now I'm driving, but it's not thinking of the same thing at once. If you know that so when you have a thought in your mind that you're not happy with, think about something else. It's that simple. When you think about something else, you just got out of the bad thought by replacing it. Replace the bad thought. Don't fight the bad thought. If you keep thinking about why you shouldn't be having a bad thought, you're giving more strength to the bad thought. When you're running away from a terrorist, you don't look back to see if he's there. If you look back, he's going to catch you. If he's not there, you run away, you do what you have to do. And that's why it's good to have interesting things in your mind. Interesting backups in your pockets to think about. So what's interesting? For each person it's different. For one person, the Torah Zayin Nikutim 1 is interesting. To know the whole Mahalech, or at least he has it in his mind. For everybody it's interesting, but he has it in his pocket. That's why it's so good to have Torah in your pocket that you can go back to right away. It's one thing to hear a shir and to listen, but it's another thing to stop, put the book in front of you, organize in your mind, what's the first thing, the second thing, the third thing, because then you can always go back to it. If you don't have that, so you can have your business, you have a store, you have merchandise, you have to buy, you have receivables, there are things you have to do for the house, things you're interested in, interest in technology. Some people are interested in upcoming technology, what's going to be with flying cars and all those kinds of things. So think about those things, and you're not going to have bad thoughts. That's an etzah, nothing to do with the Baal Shem Tov said. But the Baal Shem Tov said that the Ger asked him, how do I have not yiridot? He told him, so Bet Shammai told him, Amata binyan is 7 days. Yemea binyan, now we're in the 7th day of Hanukkah. Tomorrow's the 8th day. It's above time and space. Time and space is 7. 7-day cycle going over and over. 7 days of the week, 7 years is Shemitah, 7 times 7 is Yovel. We are in cycles of 7. Olam as there's 7. And Olam, that's Amat Habinyan. The measure of this world is days. And days is day and night. So what are you talking about? Are you a fool? It's day and night. Everybody has ups and downs. Get out of here. Give him a hit, get out of here. Hillel told him, no. What you don't want to you, don't do it to somebody else. Pirush, how do you think you got here? How do you think that you're here ready to convert? How do you think that you're about tshuva? I want everybody to understand here. A lot of people, they were not at all interested in Torah. They were not interested in tzaddikim. They're not interested. You guys are weird. You guys are crazy. You guys are old-fashioned. You guys are living in primitive times. There's a new world. Get with the times. What are you guys holding on to the things? Pitom, there's a shift in the person's mind. Can't believe it. He starts to see a religious person, starts to see a Talmid Chacham, starts to see a tzaddik, starts to see things in a different light. Wow, it's beautiful. I can't believe it. What looked so crazy before, is so attractive right now. How do you think it just happened out of nowhere? It happens like this. A person, said David Sakaberdishov, in the same Sefer Baal Shem Tov, when a person is stuck in the mud, you know the wagons used to be very often stuck in the mud. A wagon and a horse is stuck in the mud. There's no paved streets like we have today. So you have a guy stuck in the mud. You got to go help him. How do you help him? You have no choice but to get dirty a little bit. You're going to get your feet dirty. You're going to get your boots dirty. Maybe a little bit of your gloves are going to get dirty, but you're going to pull him out. You're going to get him out. To get the other guy out, you need to be dirty a bit. You can't get him out if you don't go in the mud. So Hashem sometimes will take a pure person, a high person, a tzaddik, and send him in dirty thoughts, muddy thoughts, that it's not at all for him. He doesn't look at those things. He doesn't think about those things. Those things have no relationship with him, and they're going to fall into his mind. When they fall into his mind, what does he do? Right away he breaks them. Right away he changes this thought. Api the Baal Shem Tov, there's even higher level. Is that if you know all the sfirot and all the midot, and you know where each thought comes from, depend of what type of tava, what bad midah, you know how to be ma'aleh. It's like we spoke many times. If you love something that you're not supposed to love, it means that your love of Hashem is low. So if you start to love something Gashmi and start to have a pull for that, so right away you switch that to start to love Hashem. You know, it says that Yosef HaTzadik, when he met Yaakov Avinu, So they each cried on each other. Yaakov cried on. Yaakov said Shema Yisrael. Why? Remember that's what it says. So he doesn't greet him. He says right away Shema Yisrael. You just didn't see your son for more than 20 years. Now you're saying Shema Yisrael. Mefashim explained that at that moment he had such a love for his son that I don't want to make a mistake and give love to something that I always want to bring the love back to Hashem. So right away Shema Yisrael v'ahavta Hashem Elokecha. The love that I have for here, I make sure that I don't bring it down from the love of Hashem. Make sure that I always keep the love from Hashem in check. So if you have love for something, bring it up. If you have fear of something, so bring it up. Fear of Hashem. Fear of police, fear of Hashem. If you drive by and you went a little bit, you didn't do the stop part perfect, and pitom there's a police over there and you get scared, that's to get you scared of Averot and scared of Hashem. So bring it up. The fear, bring it up. If it's of trying to beat somebody and win somebody over, give back an Yitzchak to Hashem if you know all these things. Either way, once you break the thought, you just went down. The tzaddik just went down. Where did he go down to? To you, where you are. And he picked you up, Mr. Ger. How do you think you're here? Because the tzaddik went down, he had a bad thought, and he picked you up. By him fixing you're in a place of bad thoughts. You're in a place of tumah. That's what you're thinking on purpose. That your mind is in those places, lichatchila. You're looking and thinking about things that are not good. The tzaddik has to get into the mud to pull you out. When he falls down, b'diavad into those thoughts, and he picks you up, he just took you out. What you don't want to happen to you, don't do to somebody else. You want to have no yiridot. But you're only here because of the yiridah of the tzaddik. The tzaddik fell into bad thoughts, he got you out. So why do you want to have no yiridah? Your yiridah picks other people out. Rabbeinu says in 2 places, so far that I remember, Kuf Yud Bet, over there it says Tzoar, that there's choshech. And there's a choshech, but there's many ptachim. Says a guy that falls into darkness, when you get out of the darkness, you're bringing people that are not thinking about getting darkness out as well. It's also written in Torah Dalit, Anochi. It says over there that the tzaddik, that he has a bidbun in his tefillah and he's mitchazek to go back, to concentrate in his tefillah. What he does, he gets people that are fall, that are low, that are shayim. He actually is picking them up and bringing them in black. So the Baal Shem Tov said to the Ahila said to the goy, "What do you mean? You're only here because somebody else had a yiridah. So you don't want to have yiridah? The way it works is that the tzaddik has yiridah, he brings new people in. They'll have yiridah, they bring more people in. And everybody's in Avodat Hashem, he's going to have yiridah. So for us to remember, don't be scared of yiridah. Akol tova, en shum ra ba'olam klal. The yiridah is the tachlit aliyah. The yiridah is actually the highest elevation. There's a lot of pirushim, but one pirush is that your yiridah is getting other people out. So these are the chidushim of the Baal Shem Tov. He takes gemarot, he takes different chazals, and he's saying chidushim niflaim bioter. Then Rabbeinu spoke about the Ari. So he's meshabeach all these ones. Like we said last time, that Rabbeinu is building on them. Nobody should make a mistake that there is Moshe Rabbeinu, there is the whole Torah shebichtav v'bal peh, all the Shas and Poskim. There is the Rambam. All that. Rabbeinu is building on that. Then there is Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, the Zohar. Then there is the Arizal. Then there is the Baal Shem Tov. Rabbeinu is standing on the shoulders of all this. He's only able to get to this place because they were in the world. And what's the proof? You have many things that Rabbeinu learned from them. We learn from David HaMelech. David's mistake. We learn from Avraham Avinu's mistake. We learn from Noach's mistake. We learn from Shlomo HaMelech's mistake. All these mistakes, that the tzaddik gets to the point where we say, Lo litrok et hashar, hamten. All these things, that even Moshe Rabbeinu, he brought the Erev Rab in. How does Rabbeinu know? Because Moshe Rabbeinu didn't have a precedent. When Rabbeinu is able to look in the Torah and see the precedent of them, he's able to build on them. So all of the other tzaddikim and mahalchim are part of it, and they're building on them. Nobody should make a mistake to think that we don't hold of all these things. Adarabah, these are. It's just like you have certain things which are just part of every bookshelf. If you want to have a Torah bookshelf, you're going to have the Chumash, you're going to have the Gemara, you're going to have the Shulchan Aruch, you're going to have the Zohar, you're going to have the Kidvari, the Chassidut, Baal Shem Tov, and Sifrei Rabbeinu. This is like the full package. Mashiach's building on all that. Mashiach has to have all that Rabbeinu to be able to do what he's going to do for the world. He has to have it. So Rabbeinu is mishamer very much all these tzaddikim, and for us to be connected as well, to understand also the name of Rabbeinu, it's through all these things also. It's through the Shas, it's through the Shulchan Aruch, it's through the... Now, sometimes the Zohar and the Kidvari, it's too hard for a person, a layman, to understand it. So you get the tikkunim from Rabbeinu. Rabbeinu is going to bring you what you need in there. You're going to get the light of it. It's like it's all in one. It's not like before you had to have one GPS and one camera and one phone. Now it's all in one package, right? So in the phone you have everything together. You have all these things together.